Hey everybody, Ranch in here bringing you all another StarCraft commentary. Saga MSL continues, and this is going to be the last quarterfinal for you guys. Another TVP or PVT, whichever term it is that you prefer. Group D, officially it is called. I just call it the quarterfinal fourth match. It's going to be ForGG against Stork. It's very interesting stuff here. Stork, of course, the defending OSL champion here, and ForGG, the winner of the improbable winner of the Arena MSL several seasons ago in Ro8, calling himself Never these days. So all in all, I'm just looking forward to seeing how to do this. ForGG, his best matchup, not really protoss. He's more of a Zerg specialist and he's decent as TVT, but protoss, he's at 54%, I believe. Something in that area. Let me double check that actually. 54%, yeah, that's correct. While Stork is at 67% against Terran. It's his best matchup, so I definitely think Stork has an advantage here. Stork, actually, after having played a little bit badly for like a month or so after winning the OSL, has sort of resurged a little bit. Not too badly in the Pro League, but overall has played much better. I recommend you guys, I'm not going to spoil the results for you, but I recommend you check out his first game against Jaedong in the Batu OSL. It's a very, very good game. And whether Stork lost or won, I'm just going to tell you that he played very well, because you don't always win even if you play very well. So overall, I look forward to seeing what it is that's going to happen. I'm going to give Stork an advantage, and especially if he rides this momentum that hopefully he's put himself on, he should be able to 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Should be able to win. Sorry guys, I had to stop my sentence there for the countdown. And ForGG has a little bit of an uphill battle, but he also is a very overall solid player, knows the technology, knows the techniques of the game very well, knows the intricacies, knows exactly what it is that needs to be done. So this is going to be Byzantium II, and positions we're going to have ForGG at the lower left, and I believe that was teal, and we're going to have Stork at the upper left in what I believe violet, pink, purple, whatever the hell that color is. So yeah, Stork's at 11 o'clock, and ForGG is going to be at 7 o'clock. TVP matchup overall very even on this map, so I did not actually look at the map statistics simply because I'm afraid of spoiling myself, because that's always a risk when you look at map statistics, because if you follow map statistics as I have been a little bit lately, and if all of a sudden there's a slight surge in one race, there could be spoilers in there, so I'm gonna make sure I don't get spoiled. I'm expecting pretty standard build from both of these guys. Both of these guys just solid, very solid standard players. Stork's the kind of guy that if you let him get going, like really get going in late game, he'll roll over you, and you got to be very careful not to let Stork take the expansions you need. Make sure he doesn't overexpand, just get his full army going. Stork now going to add a gateway and probably going to send out a scout right afterwards, or maybe not. What do I know? Wait, scout, and ForGG now sending out a scout. So we're overall look forward to seeing what it is. What it's going to happen. If ForGG scouts up, he's definitely going to find Stork right away. Stork not getting his gas, so it's going to be pretty standard. ForGG also not getting his barracks going and some gas, so it's going to probably go factory first. And then we're just going to see whether he quickly expands after the Stork. Also not sending his probe scout all the way in the wrong direction. We're going to see whether he spots this. If no. Oh, actually, you might see that. Not quite sure whether he saw what direction the SCV was coming from. We're going to see whether he deduces that or not. Refiner almost now up for ForGG. Stork going to scout ForGG very late, unfortunately for him. While ForGG now has a scout inside of there, going to be able to do everything he needs. ForGG has to play very carefully and just make sure that Stork does not allow his own get a full expansion build going, just get all of his expansion, because Stork on a lot of bases is so dangerous. He's so good. He has such wonderful army control. And looking at the polls, most people think that Stork will take this, apparently. I'm not really surprised by that. Stork overall, just statistically speaking, a better player. Second gateway now also coming for him alongside the Cybernetics Core. First factory now, meanwhile, up for ForGG, also going to build some Marines to try to defend his base just in case some early harassment is going to be coming his way. And yeah, I was saying, Stork just has immense army control. I'm not going to say that ForGG is like a worse player or anything. ForGG himself is also a very good technical player. And if you if you allow ForGG to play his kind of game, he'll make you pay for it. But overall, TVP is not his forte, really. If this was a Zerg, he'd probably steamroll him. He's kind of the TVZ specialist. That's kind of, you could say. Second gateway now up for Stork. Also getting his range, so we're gonna have goon range. I don't think he even built any zealots. He's just gonna go for straight goons. They're gonna put on some pressure. First factory almost up for GG, and all it's just gonna come down to, I think, who manages to get up the army, who manages to put on the pressure, who manages to get economically ahead, because that's the kind of player, especially the kind of player Stork is. If you let him get economically ahead and build up an army, you're pretty much screwed. I know I'm a little bit repeating myself, but it can't be said enough. Dragoon now out for Stork, so it's only going to be a matter of time until he takes care of that one scouting SV. Bunker meanwhile being put down by ForGG, and Stork also putting on a pylon at the 6 o'clock location, interesting enough, not at his natural, rather far off, so he might be thinking of expanding far off, or most likely that's actually to hide tech. He's probably going to hide off the tech from ForGG, so ForGG doesn't know what's coming his way. Most likely going to go for Reaver, try to get some drops going. These guys have played before in the MSL, and they've played very interesting games, so where ForGG lost, and so he's definitely going to... Oh, but ForGG spots the hidden location. Nice for ForGG, nice little psychic. Sometimes it just amazes me how these StarCraft players sometimes just seem psychic. They just run and find cheese without when they shouldn't have. Now, Stork has 3 Dragoons. He's now probably going to wait for range before he starts hacking away. A robotic facility, meanwhile, being put down inside of the main instead of the that hidden location. So that failed for Stork. Now that for Stork. So Stork now has one location there ready. Interestingly enough, Stork trying to go for some sort of cheesy tech hiding build just so he would have been able to get some Reavers very close on, but that's of course not going to happen. Stork now putting on pretty good pressure. We're going to see whether he tries to take down Bunker. There's of course forces ForGG to pull 4 SCVs off the line. Siege tank already with siege mode. He's going to start shelling those Dragoons. He's going to force Stork to move back. ForGG now should be able to move his SCVs away. Robotic facility almost now ready. And ForGG again going down there with the SCV, just making sure that Stork's actually not hiding any tech, just trying to move his SCVs around. This SCV is going to get caught by the Dragoon. We're going to see whether he might just escape. He might actually manage. ForGG meanwhile now setting up an expansion. Has a bunker, a couple of siege tanks also ready in position, so he should be able to hold it fairly well. Stork just running around with Dragoons, and I think he should think of expanding again, but apparently he's going for more of a economic harassment build than an economic build. It's going to be very important. Engineering Bay now also coming up for GG, so he's going to put some turrets because he most likely guesses what's coming his way. So pylon being put down in the natural, which SCV spotted, so ForGG is going to deduce that Stork is in fact going to expand. Robotic support now coming up for Stork as well, so we are going to see Reavers soon enough, although I think ForGG has read that this is going to be coming, and he's going to be ready for it. He's going to put some turrets in location. He's going to be ready to catch those Reavers that are going to be coming his way, and all in all, he's just going to come down to how Stork manages to use this harassment to his advantage. Has now some Zealots now in the field as well. If Stork manages to do some heavy harassment, that's going to be it. I think ForGG with that expansion might be pulling himself just a little bit thin. He has to be very careful to make sure it doesn't happen. Also putting down his second factory and some turrets instead of his mains. I'm not quite sure. He has to put more than one turret, most definitely, to catch that one shuttle there, the first shuttle ready. I'm not actually sure if the Reaver, I don't think the Reaver's actually ready. We're going to see what he actually uses this for. Okay, he's just going to move Dragoons, in fact. He doesn't have any Reavers. He's going to screw the Reavers, just going to move a bunch of forces down this ramp. Dragoons, 2 Zealots, and more Dragoons. And I don't think ForGG at all knows this coming. He's going to have Dragoons and Zealots bearing down on his main. And he's not going to expect anything. Huge army is just going to bear right on inside his main. Interesting here. Stork also, meanwhile, using this chance to expand. And he's just going to start moving. There's nothing but a siege tank, another siege tank in another location. Dragoon's just got to move in. SCV's being pulled off the line, try to do battle. But oh no, tank goes down. And one Dragoon, meanwhile, loses his life. All these SCVs are in absolute complete jeopardy. Stork is just going to steamroll here. ForGG in huge trouble. He's pulling back his tanks, pulling some Marines now back here, trying to engage as well as he can with his tanks, trying to